What's up, YouTube? It's Mini Metal Fab, and today we're on part 2 of trying to get this Kawasaki Ninja running again. We are going to start off by switching the terminals on our starter, so that way the polarity is reversed, so the starter will spin the right direction, because that is our current problem. It's spinning the wrong direction. So Russell's over here. He's putting the one that we had on negative to the positive, and the one that we had on positive to the negative. We just got it hooked up. We're going to bridge the gap and see if the motor turns.
No, it does not like that. Back to square one.
I realized why it's spinning backwards. We did just have it hooked up the correct direction. Okay? What happened is, I guarantee you, we have a broken magnet in our starter somewhere that is sitting in the wrong spot, so it's reversing the polarity in there. I saw it on 2 Vintage's YouTube channel. He had the same problem. So check his channel out. He does a bunch of restorations. He's got a really good channel, a lot of good tutorials and information on there. And I saw that his starter was reversed in polarity, but it was hooked up correctly. And he couldn't figure out why for the longest time. And then he opened up the starter, and it turned out to be that the starter magnet, one of them broke. So the piece was in the back instead of the front, and it was reversing the polarity of the starter. So we will have to take ours out now and reverse it and check it out and take out the broken piece, and then it should spin in the right direction. All right, so we're gonna pull the starter out. So I just loosened the 2 bolts I hold in the back, so I gotta take this off so I can pull the chain off again. And then we should be able to slide it out the back, hopefully. Just pulled the sprocket and the chain off. So now I'm gonna try to pull the starter out from the back. Yeah, terminals are off. Let's see here.
Go straight up.
Yeah, gotta go straight up.
Actually, can you think you pass it through here?
So I'm gonna try. Underneath the carburetors.
Just slowly work it. Yeah.
Turn.
Wait, push back and then turn it. Yeah. Towards. There we go.
There we go. Out. Word. Starter's out. Haha. Easier than we thought. Much easier than a car, that's for sure. So now we just gotta take these 2 Phillips heads out and pull the thing apart and see what's going on inside. Steady. All right. There we go. All right. I don't know if we need to take that snap ring off or not. We might. Alright, so now let's see here. Yep. Pops right off. Got 2 gears in there. I went in there like that.
Directly apart.
Yeah, directly opposite of each other. There's a gasket around here. Pull that out.
This sleeve comes out too as well.
2. That comes off. That was all lined up with that pin right there. Little pin there. And this should slide out.
Is that a broken piece down there or a bearing?
There's a washer in there.
This itself.
Undo this side. All right, so I just picked up a brand new starter. Well, not new used, but it's supposedly good. So I got that. So we just plugged that in and bolted it down. So now we got to hook up the wires. And now I know which one's positive, which one's negative. This one's negative right here. And the one on the back side of the starter is the positive one. So that's the way it should be. So I'm gonna hook it up that way. And hopefully now it'll turn over the right way. I also got a new starter button for up there, so we'll plug that in and see if that works as well. Hopefully we can use the starter button instead of trying to jump the terminals all the time. So we'll see. Slowly trying to solve one problem at a time. Just take it step by step. That's really all you can do, you know? And then you just slowly, hopefully, eventually get it. So I hooked everything up to the old harness, the new harness actually, and tried it, and nothing. The dashboard did nothing, still nothing. So I'm going to put the old harness back on. Now that I know how it's supposed to be hooked up, try to hook everything up properly this time, and see if it'll do anything with the old harness, and go from there, I guess. So I unplugged the new harness we got, all the stuff there, and I'm gonna plug the old harness back in and reconnect it all properly, to my knowledge, and see if anything happens. So I got it all kind of fed up where it needs to go. Like, these are for the starter and everything, and this is all for dashboard and things. So hopefully that will start to work and things. This is for starter, ignition, and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. Mostly got everything plugged in. I found the negative terminal. I gotta solder this on to this guy right here, so it can plug into our battery right here, and then plug a couple more things in, and I need to solder these connections on right here for the brakes kickstand sensor, because I think we're gonna need that connected, and then hopefully we'll get something. All right, so I was messing around with it for a little while. I took the ignition switch apart because I thought maybe the contacts were dirty in here, and I cleaned them. They were a little dirty. I tried it, and still nothing.
There's gotta be
nothing. So I guess now we're gonna go through all the fuses and check all the fuses and see if any of them are bad, and go from there. I got a new starter though, and I put that in. So hopefully this one will go the right direction. I don't know if it will. I haven't tested it yet. I mainly want to test it when I get the button to work, but it should be spinning this way, and it should work. I got everything hooked up properly, so that should be good now. All right, so we're scraping the gasket maker and the old gasket off the side here, because I have a new gasket right in here and off of here too. And then we're gonna wire these in and plug this in, and I'm gonna wire this up as well here, because this needs to get wired back up to this right here. So we'll do all that, and then we'll see if we have any life, and we'll check all the fuses too. All right, so it's another day. I got some new fuses for the street bike. Checked all the fuses. This fuse here was actually blown out. All the fuses in the fuse box were good, but our main relay fuse was blown. And I'm an absolute idiot because I didn't realize this the entire time, but we had the battery hooked up wrong. This is the positive side. That's the negative. I had the positive here and the negative there. So I have it hooked up the correct way now. And if I get the key here, I got it to do something. Put the key in, turn it. Ready? We have turn signals. There's no horn on the bike, and the lights aren't hooked up, so those aren't gonna work. And our start-stop button still does nothing. So I'm thinking we might need these kickstand wires hooked up in order for the start button to work. So we're gonna wire these in, and then we'll see if it works after that. So I got the soldering iron here, and I'm gonna solder these back together, because that's how they came from factories. They were tied in. I just cut them for the new harness, but we might not be using that new harness there. So just some of the pieces from it. All right, so I got the gasket all scraped off of this thing finally. I got it all ready and prepped for our new gasket, and I got it wired back in for the time being. I'm trying to figure out why our start button here isn't doing anything. Because look, everything's off, right? Turn it on. I got this all to work. It doesn't have oil in it, so that's why the low oil's on, but neutral light's on. Headlights on. Okay. Turn signal sensors are working, like this doesn't work. It's just a constant headlight on, but then we'll worry about that later. But if you go here, run, push the start button, nothing. Not even the solenoid clicking or anything. So I don't know what's causing that. I have a second one here. I'm going to take this apart and see if I can figure out how this thing operates, and see if I can maybe clean a contact in here and try this one and see if it works or something. I have two of them, but I don't know. We're going to try looking at this and get this thing working. All right, so I can't get the buttons to work. I tried wiring up my own start and kill switch, and still nothing. So I think I'm going to try putting that harness back on again. And I'm gonna put the side cover back on with the new gasket because that works. And I jumped the starter solenoid, and the starter did spin the motor and it spun the right way. So we finally fixed that problem. So that's good. But I don't know what's going on with the start button and kill switch. I just can't figure it out. I don't know why it's not working. So I guess we'll keep working on it after we get the side cover on. Alrighty, so I did a little more research and I looked through a wiring diagram, and apparently this is a start kill switch that is in here. So if the bike was ever crashed, it won't start again because that breaks the circuit there. So if you connect the circuit, hopefully it should bypass that, then allowing our start system to work, hopefully. And I made a custom start system here because I couldn't figure out which wires were doing what. So here's our off and on for the engine, and then our starter button here. I don't know if these are hooked up. These red ones could be switched. These two right here. I don't know which one does what yet. I haven't been able to get that far. So I'm filling up with some oil now because the low oil light was on because I drained all the oil out. So that could be why it wasn't running as well, maybe. I don't know. So we're just going to put oil in it. So that way that won't be like that anymore. I charged up the battery, so it's a fully charged battery. So we'll see what it does now. Yes, look at this, it worked. So I don't know why that's still on because I still, it's full of oil. But I mean, I might need to add a tiny bit more, but look. Hear that? Sounds good. A starter sounds a little weak though, so I might put the old starter back in and see if it works better. I don't know. But I'm so hyped right now because this has taken us like 2-3 months. I've been working on this thing, trying to get it to come alive, and it is finally alive. Well, electrically wise. I still gotta see if it has spark now. That's the next step. Hopefully it spark. I found new coil packs if the coils are shot, so that's good. And they're only 20 bucks for this thing. So parts are pretty cheap for this, for the most part. Like a brand new starter was 60 bucks. I got that one used off of Facebook for like 25 bucks. So couldn't really beat that. But I have that one still down there as well. I can try that one, see if that one is any better, like any stronger or whatever. And I might see if any of our wires have too much resistance, because some of these wires are pretty old, so they might have a lot of resistance. Might have to replace these with some new cables. That might be why our starter is spinning so slow. But at least the motor has compression, it's not locked up. So big steps today. So that's good. We're one step closer to having this thing run. Alrighty, so we're back again today, working on the street bike some more. Today we're gonna see if we have spark. Now we got everything turned on and the crank over. We're gonna check for spark. So I have this tool right here, which this goes into your coil and your spark plug goes in there. And if you have spark, this will flash so you can see if your coil is good. And then if it has spark down here, you can put it on the ground and see if your spark plug sparks too. So we're gonna try this. Okay, so these spark plugs are really weird size. They're not either standard spark plug size. The 13/16 here, it's not this one, which is the bigger one, and it's not a 5/8 either, which is the smaller one. It's an 18mm socket. But I don't know, whatever. I'm trying to get the spark plug out and see what this looks like. Oh, that was already loose. Nice. That's never a good sign. Probably need a magnet to get this thing out of here then. Oh. Those look pretty rough. Pretty rough indeed. Uh-huh. Look at that. Focus on it here. It's like oily. I don't know. We'll have to clean it up. See if it spark, I guess. Just got the other side out, and that one looks a lot better. A lot better. I mean, the tops are all rusty and corroded, but the inside isn't that bad. So like there's like a bunch of like dirt and stuff down in there. So I'm gonna try to vacuum them out with my shop vac. See if I can suck any of that up. Cause I don't want that to fall in the motor. All right, I just checked the first plug. We have spark, so that is great. So let's see if you can see this here. Let's see, where can I put this? Not many great options, but let's see if this works. Uh-oh, the starter just seized up. I think it did. I think our starter just died. Great, so we'll have to replace that now. Good thing I have the other one to go back in. That one I know isn't dead. It spins really good, so we'll switch that out now. I gotta drain the oil back out, pull this side cover off again. Oh, great. Oh well. That's not good. That's not good at all. Water in the motor. You can see at the bottom there. Yeah. That's not good at all. Damn. Well, we'll still run it. Yeah. Not the oil, but the engine. This oil's bad. Really bad. That's dumb. No good. We got the oil drained out and we flushed it. And I'm letting it drain out. I'm probably gonna let it drip overnight. There's some water in it and some decent amount of metal shavings, but I expected that because the flywheel magnet exploded probably from when it fell during the accident. So that caused a lot of metal shavings in it and things when that went off. And then we're gonna get new oil for it, and I took the oil filter off. That was really stuck on there, but I got that off. So now we're just gonna let everything drain out, and then we'll replace it with new oil, put a new oil filter on it, and we're gonna pull the side cover off next to replace the starter. All right, you got the cover off, saved the gasket. Old/new starter is in, the working one. So I'm gonna put the gasket back on and put it back together. All right, got all the bolts in. I always tighten them down by hand, like with just my fingers first, with on the extension, and then I'll come in with the wrench and tighten them down with the wrench after, jumping around, going back and forth, snugging them little bits at a time, not just tightening them all the way and cranking it down, going around and getting them all nice and snugged up, and then you go around and torque them in a jumping pattern as well. All right, so we got everything hooked back up, covers back on, batteries back hooked up. Let's see if it cranks over and see if we have spark on the left cylinder, because we got spark on the right. Let's see if we got spark on the left. So we're gonna test to see if it sparks our engine on. We got spark. Look at that. Ouch. Just shocked me. That's making the engine puke out stuff. It's kind of good. This thing's going up and down, engine's cranking. Puke everything out. Let's spray a little bit of PB blaster down the cylinders just to help lubricate the rings and stuff a little bit in there. Who knows how long it's been sitting. Could have been there for a while. Let's check to see if this other spark plug has spark, because our spark plug here broke. See, look at that. It broke off, so I'm going to be getting new plugs. But I want to see if it sparks still. Maybe. Yeah, it does. Huh. Let's put these spark plugs back in and spray something down the carburetors and see what happens. So I'm gonna spray some brake clean in here and see if I can get this thing to start over potentially, because it did have spark and it's got compression, so it might actually start up tonight, which would be amazing. All right, ready? Let's see. Should we choke it with the choke levers? That's not it. Here it is. Close the throttle. Alright, we'll just charge up the battery and then we'll get oil and filter.
Yeah.
And then we'll try this again.
Yes, we'll be back at it.
Yep. Alright, well, I'm going to stop there for now. We'll pick up with part 3 in the next video, and we will get some oil for this, the filter, some new spark plugs, and we're going to have to take this valve cover off and drain all the coolant out and everything to see which valves are sticking and check the valve clearances, like the tolerances for all them and everything like that. So we'll do that too. And then we'll be good to crank it up again, and hopefully we can start it this time. Definitely gonna have to take the carburetors off and give them a clean, get some filters for those. But maybe even, we might need a new flywheel because of that broken magnet, but we'll see. It might be all right without it. But thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.